So, folks, Don Jr. found out the hard way that his dad actually does send birthday cards. And when I saw this story, I said to myself, I'm not shocked. The more that they try, and I realize I said this every time I do a video on the subject, but every time they try to make this go away, every time they try to steer away from it, every time they try to make an excuse or come up with a new way to spin it, they just make it worse. And when the whole birthday card to Jeffrey Epstein surfaced, um, they immediately said that, oh, no, that's not him. He doesn't do that. He doesn't doodle. He doesn't draw. And then people came out and they started showing uh, all these images of him when, as a matter of fact, he does draw. He does put stuff like that into the world. And so they've denied that. They've said that this is all BS. But now the Epstein released this to Congress. And so there it is. And I can't see as good as I used to read all of that to you, but this is where him and Epstein is talking back and forth, and this is where he says, "May every day remain a wonderful secret." But look at that drawing. Look where he signed his name. Look what region he decided to sign his name in. The dude truly is sick. I mean, there's no other way to slice it. It really is, and they can sit here and deny this all day long, but they've lied so many times along the way that it's really hard to believe. Let's just go ahead for the benefit of the doubt here and say that this ain't real and that someone cooked this up and made this up. They still have lied so many times. They still have got caught so many times in one big blooper and one big blunder after another that it's damn near impossible for me to take these people seriously and think that that's not really him. So there it is. I mean, you can say all day long, oh, it wasn't him, but I always point this out too. Have you noticed how that whatever lie MAGA tells, whatever lie Donald Trump tells, MAGA latches onto it and they stick with it until they get trapped in it and he gets trapped in it and then he tells them how to spin out of it and then they spin out of it with him. Folks, we have sat back for the last 10 years and we have watched these people play mental gymnastics with their cult leader. And, I enjoy a good cult documentary just as good as the next person. When they put out a new special about Jonestown or Waco, I'll tune in and watch it. I've always been fascinated by that shit. But I never wanted it in my fucking government. I never wanted it to be controlling our lives. I never wanted it to be the people that would be writing legislation and taking away rights from Americans. Let's just watch the Waco documentary when they put out the new anniversary of it. Let's just watch another Manson family one. Let's see another spin on that. I don't want to see it in the White House, but unfortunately it is. I'm going to play you a couple of clips here. In this first one, you'll see Mike Johnson trying to walk it back after he said that Trump was an FBI informant, said that he misspoke. He walks it back, and then Jasmine Crockett reacts. Take a look.
I mentioned that what the attorneys for the victims have been very clear about. I'm just repeating what is common knowledge and has been out in the public for a long time. President Trump was never a hindrance to the Epstein investigation. He was trying to assist in that. I don't know if I used the right word. I said FBI informant. I'm not sure. I wasn't there.
Is that common knowledge about President Trump trying to assist in the Epstein investigation? Have you seen any evidence of that?
That's the first time I heard of it. So I'm going to say no. I don't have any documentation to that effect. And I was able to sit down during the Bill Barr deposition. I don't recall the former Attorney General stating anything to that effect. I can't say what all he said, but I don't remember anything that would lead me to believe that he was informed of anything like that. So no, I would not say that. And we know that Bill Barr was the Attorney General at least at the time that Epstein ended up dying. And so I would imagine that he would have the information as it relates to who the informants were and that kind of stuff. And I can just tell you point blank that it never came up that the president somehow was an informant for the FBI.
Yeah, and the reason why she's hearing this for the very first time is because Mike Johnson completely ripped it out of his ass before he actually stopped and thought it through. I had a friend of mine, Superman Todd, over on TikTok. He said, do you think that he was in panic mode and just said that, or do you think that's the way that they're going to go with it? And I said, I think it's a little bit of both. I think he panicked and said it, And then they definitely ran with it. And that's what was hilarious, is watching all the MAGA influencers go, see there, we told you Trump was the good guy. He's an informant. Well, hold on a minute. If you've ever watched an episode of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or The Sons of Anarchy, or if you ever stayed home sick with your mamaw and watched Perry Mason or Matlock, you know that an informant is someone who is guilty of wrongdoing, and they make a deal to go in and be a rat against whoever it is that they're trying to bring down. So, remember back when they thought Opie was ratting on Jax? That's how this works. That's what this is. So he said that, and then, oh, well, I must have misspoke. Well, do y'all remember when Tim Walz misspoke about going to China, was it? He misspoke and said that he was there. Joe Rogan talked about that for weeks. MAGA would not stop talking about it. Oh, God, my God, Tim Walz misspoke. He said he was there. He said he was on the ground. And Tim Walz came out and said, I misspoke. And they still won't forgive him. They still go back and dig that one up on Tim Walz. But when it comes to Mike Johnson, he could come out there and say, oh, yeah, Trump's on video doing it. And then they could dial it back and go, well, I didn't really mean that. That was my bad. I misspoke. And everybody, oh, yeah, he misspoke. Happens every time. That's what's so frustrating about dealing with these people day in and day out. But it's just hard to believe when they lie so much, and that's what Jasmine Crockett brings out in this next clip.
It's hundreds of names, as you know. On the drawing itself, the White House has denied that the drawing existed. They denied that it was Trump's signature. Tonight, they are denying it, saying that releasing it is proof that it's not his signature. I mean, we showed, obviously, examples that mirror it. What do you make of the White House's defense here?
The fact that the president is a liar. I mean, he's consistent. I mean, that's all I really got for you. I mean, here's the thing. We got this from the Epstein estate. This isn't something that came from a random Democratic something. This came from the estate. And so...
Because basically that would have mean that someone had to forge this.
Correct.
Years ago. It didn't come from Democrats.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. Before he even got elected, remember when Epstein died, right? That was before Donald Trump got elected this time. And they would have had to have some kind of foresight that he was going to run for office again, somehow win again, and we've got to make sure that this is sitting here so that when a committee comes through to get this, then it's crazy.
It truly is crazy, and the only thing that Donald Trump is consistent at is lying. And the only thing that he's good at is manipulating people. And he found the absolute most gullible people on the planet to go out there and play to, and he could tell them anything he wants to and walk back anything he wants to, and they will always be in denial. And Tim Burchett here in Tennessee, he's in denial, and this is embarrassing to watch, but hey, this is it. They think that Tim Burchett thinks it could have been, guess what? The auto pen. Yeah, take a look at old bird shit here.
I mean, anybody can do a signature. We've seen the auto pen's been used quite a bit with the Biden administration. So I've never known Trump to be much of an artist either. So I kind of draw that into question.
I think there's a history of him drawing
stuff. The thing is, it's been there for 4 years, and now it's just come out. I just don't buy it.
So you think really someone might have just forged this somehow and sent this to the Epstein?
Somehow. It's so easy to do. I just don't buy any of it right now because we have a prior administration that's had a history of dishonesty, and they bring something like this out now. Why wouldn't they bring it out during the campaign?
I just don't buy it. Why wouldn't they bring it out during the campaign if they had it during the campaign? Why didn't they just bring it out? I just don't buy it. I'm in denial. I'm delusional. Come on, dude. Just wake up for once in your life, have a little bit of decency, and realize that you've been duped. It's not that hard, okay? I've been duped before. I've owned it. I back when I was a kid, I used to sit and watch wrestling every evening at 4 o'clock. It came on when I came home from school, and I would watch it on ESPN. I would watch the Von Erichs and the Freebirds and their classic rivalry, and I couldn't wait to get home to see that. And one day I was walking past the grocery store, the magazine rack, and I saw a magazine that said David Von Erich had passed away. And I was like, what? No, he's alive. He's on TV. I'm going to see him this afternoon when I get home from school. And my mom said, you're watching reruns. That happened 4 or 5 years ago. You're watching the reruns. And I went, oh, I got duped. Oh, okay. I didn't sit there and go, I don't buy it. I think David Von Erich's still alive. He's putting the iron claw on the Freebirds as we speak. I don't think that's true. I don't believe it for a minute. I seen him at a Burger King. What a moron. And that dude,
unfortunately, is from right here where I'm at. But hey, you can't win them all. That's all I can say. Folks, they will continue to stay in denial. They will never own up and admit to any wrongdoing. And all I can say about this going forward as we cover it here on the channel is no matter what happens next, people like Tim Burchett will go, I don't buy it. And people will be out there trying to make it go away. Because at the end of the day, here's why. They don't have the backbone to admit to being wrong about anything. And it's all about owning the libs, and it's all political. To people like Tim Burchett, it's all political. It's all about beating liberals. He does not give a damn about the victims. No one in MAGA gives a damn about the victims. Donald Trump don't give a damn about the victims, no matter how many times that Mike Johnson says, oh yeah, we've talked about it, and Trump feels so bad. Trump has never said that out loud. He's just said that it was a hoax. So, when people like Bill Maher says he's a different cat behind closed doors, I don't care if he is the nicest dude ever behind closed doors and just laughs and says it's all a joke. In the real world, when he comes out, what he puts out into the world has stripped away more rights than any other president. What he's put out into the world is an American dictator. I don't care how nice he was to Bill Maher at some dinner. And I don't care how many times, I don't believe for a second that he sits and says to Mike Johnson, oh, this is an outrage. I feel sorry for the victims. I'm pretty sure he's throwing ketchup at the wall and screaming, make this go away. That's how I envision it. Because that's the man that I see on TV, the man that cannot even talk to a reporter, that he doesn't completely melt down and lose his mind. That's what I see. What Donald Trump has put out into this world is going to take us years to get past. He is going to leave the biggest shit stain on American history that's ever been put on it, and our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be trying to figure out a way to put the toothpaste back in the tube. Well, if they're watching this 100 years from now, hey, Papaw tried, okay? Papaw and his platform here on the Tennessee Brando channel, we tried our damnedest to tell everybody they were being duped, but Tim Burchett, he just didn't buy it.